With her unmatched grace and accuracy, Nadia Comăneci astounded the world and achieved the first-ever perfect 10 in Olympic gymnastics. However, beyond the glittering routines and golden trophies came a tale of tenacity, drive, and surprising turns. Nadia's journey is remarkable, encompassing her groundbreaking performances and the difficulties she encountered outside the spotlight. What inspired her to push the boundaries of perfection, and how did her life change due to her momentous accomplishments? Come along as we reveal the fantastic highs and unseen hardships that make Nadia Comăneci's story so remarkable. Beginning in Romania. Nadia was born in the Carpathian village of Onesti in Romania. She claims that her mother enrolled her in gymnastics classes because she was always vivacious and hyperactive as a child. This had the opposite effect of what she had anticipated, to make young Nadia even more exhausted. Since she was so enamored with the sport, Nadia would practice leaping, sprinting, and moving around whenever she had the chance. She loved the activity because her mother could not make her sleepy. Slowly climbing. Nadia believed she had found her passion when she began her first class. Since kindergarten, Nadia has liked the somersaults, challenging routines, and demanding practice sessions. Even at that young age, Nadia knew she would be a gymnast for the rest of her life, and what began as a childhood passion became a dream come true. Finding your calling at such a young age is uncommon. Therefore, those that do are fortunate to have a head start. Encounter with Bella Coroli. When she was younger, Nadia performed various stunts with her pals, including cartwheeling. In a surprising turn of events, Bella Coroli, the famous Romanian gymnastics coach, happened to be walking by. He and his spouse constantly tried to develop young, talented athletes and promote the sport. The young Nadia was ideal because of her innate talent and athletic prowess, which was evident even when she played freely with her companions. Coroli immediately took notice, and the stage was prepared for the creation of sports history. Not giving up. Every day, Bella and Nadia trained for 3 hours. Luckily for her, Bella didn't have to drive long because her school was close to Nadia's home. Even when things weren't going well, he never stopped encouraging her. Nadia performed poorly in her initial amateur competitions because she frequently fell. Still, Bella had faith in her, and as she trained more, her form significantly improved, and she started to land smoothly. First competition. In 1969, Nadia participated in her first competition, the Romanian National Junior Championships. She competed at the age of 7, which may surprise you. She only finished 13th, though. Even though she was ranked low, the setback only increased her motivation. Nadia returned and trained harder than ever before, taking first place the following year at 8, dominating the tournament and doing so in the most spectacular way possible. Senior eligibility. When Nadia turned 14, she could finally compete at the senior level. When she was released into senior sport, she won 5 medals at the European Championships and the American Tandem Cup, but this was just a prelude. Nadia was focused on a greater goal. She wanted to compete in the 1976 Summer Olympics in Montreal. Because of her explosive skill, the world was waiting to watch what she would do in the world's most competitive arena. The Kiss with Bart. Comăneci participated in the first American Cup in March 1976 at Madison Square Garden in Manhattan. A photographer encouraged the blonde American boy next to 14-year-old Nadia to lean in and kiss her as she headed to the stage to pick up her silver. The 18-year-old American gymnast, Bart Connor, gladly complied. Even if things could have gone differently, the two athletes connected immediately, and their bond only became deeper from then on. The elusive 10. Gymnasts are scored on a scale of 1 to 10 during their routines. However, no gymnast achieved a perfect score during the Olympic Games. That is, until Nadia showed up. No gymnast had. People were in a state of shock as Nadia performed her first gymnastic routine. The audience went wild, and the judges were dumbfounded. The judges were forced to give Nadia a historic perfect 10 because of her faultless execution. However, Nadia would record 6 more perfect 10s throughout the competition, which wasn't enough. The road to Montreal. Nadia was prepared and eager to win her first Olympic Games in July 1976. At this point, she was beginning to gain notoriety from the international gymnastics community, but no one could have predicted what she would do. Even Nadia had no idea how the tournament would go, and even though she had faith in herself, she was still somewhat nervous and cautious about what was about to happen. However, everyone could see something extraordinary happening when the proceedings eventually got underway. Nadia Comăneci created history at the 1976 Summer Olympics in Montreal. Getting a theme song. Nadia's fame skyrocketed after her incredible Olympic performance. Cotton's Dream from the movie Bless the Beasts and the Children was played during a series of slow-motion montages of Nadia that sports writer Robert Rigger presented on ABC's Wide World of Sports. The segment was repeatedly broadcast, and the song became known as Nadia's Theme. The song was officially renamed Nadia's Theme by its composers after it became a top 10 single in the fall of 1976. An explosion of popularity. Nadia shocked the gymnastics world by winning the BBC's Overseas Sports Personality and the Female Athlete of the Year award in 1976 and having her picture on the cover of Time magazine, a huge honor. Back home, Nadia was hailed as a national hero and lavished with gifts and accolades from the Romanian government. However, every good thing must end, and things will soon fall apart. Things started going downhill. Nadia appeared to be living the ideal life, but behind the scenes, things began to fall apart. Her parents were fighting a lot and going through a divorce, and the attention from the public was getting to her. No child wants their parents to divorce, especially when everyone is looking. In addition, she had to stop training with her favorite trainer, Bella, and was advised to find a new coach, which was difficult. Suicide attempt. In addition to being a teenager, Nadia was feeling trapped and controlled at the age of 15. The pressures of training, international media attention, and government involvement were getting to her, and she felt like she couldn't handle it any longer. She attempted suicide in desperation, but thankfully it was unsuccessful. After the traumatic event, Romanian officials again assigned her to Bella for training, restoring some semblance of normalcy. Puberty hits. When puberty hit, Nadia stopped training and decided to eat everything in sight, despite the Romanian government's advice to take a break from the sport because gymnasts typically perform better when they're young. She quickly gained several inches in height and a stone in weight, but later that year, she resumed competing and won medals for her nation despite her size. An assumed affair. Because of their constant fascination with athletes and success, the media frequently fabricates stories about them. One such story was that Nadia was having an affair with Nicolae Ceausescu, the son of Romanian dictator Nicolae Ceausescu. The rumors slowly damaged her reputation by giving the impression that she was using her career accomplishments to gain more power, but this was untrue. Downhill yet again. Nadia's coach, Bela Coroli, was upset with the judges because he believed they had not given her a fair score, and his argument with them was caught on live television. The Romanian authorities felt this did not reflect well on them, and his life would become tough upon returning to Romania. With all the drama and fuss, it is no wonder that the 1980 Moscow Olympics did not go as planned. Hecklers. The Russians wanted their gymnasts to win so badly that they sent soldiers to the stands expressly to jeer and divert the other nations' competitors. When Nadia was up, they shouted, "Fall, Nadia, fall!" Nadia was a global sensation and the person to beat at the Olympics. Despite these irrational and unsporting odds, Nadia's extraordinary professionalism persisted, and she not only avoided falling, but also went on to win medals in the competition. Fixed scores. The Olympic neutrality is at the heart of the international event's values and mission statement, and political tampering was a grave accusation. Bella's squabbling over the competition's scores led everyone to believe that the Olympics were turning into a political event, directly contrary to what they should be. The coach claimed to have witnessed numerous instances of Russian judges manipulating the scores and results of their gymnasts, and the Russians and Romania's communist regime did not take such accusations lightly. Milking Nadia for money. When the communist government in Romania, which was struggling, realized that Nadia could bring in a lot of money, They organized the Nadia 81 tour, in which she toured the United States like a rock star, drawing crowds to see the gymnastic wonder girl. The tour was a success, and the government made $250,000, but Nadia received only $1,000 for her efforts, which was not a tiny amount by Romanian standards at the time, but it still felt exploitative. Bella Coroli defects. Bella and two other members of the Nadia 81 tour chose to defect to the United States rather than return to their home country after the tour ended, because Bella's life was in jeopardy because the Romanian government sent people to follow him around and monitor his every move after he made headlines at the 1980 Moscow Olympics. Bella asked Nadia if she would like to defect with them, but she refused, preferring to return to Romania. Trapped. Although Nadia declined to defect, even when given the opportunity, the Romanian government lost faith in her after Bella's defection. In an attempt to prevent Nadia from defecting as well, they banned her from traveling to Western nations, tapped her phone, read her mail, and sent government agents to follow her around. The poor girl was stranded in her homeland, and the government's increased involvement made her already challenging life even more difficult. An escape plan. A Romanian national named Constantin Panait, who had somehow escaped Romania, swam across the Danube and ended up in Florida, was contacted by Nadia as her life became more challenging. She realized that although she didn't initially want to leave Romania, it was becoming unsafe for her to stay. Panait promised to smuggle Nadia out of the country and get her to America safely, so Nadia rearranged her priorities and decided to take a chance with Constantin. Not telling her family. Nadia knew she couldn't tell her parents because they would be against her defecting, so she only told her younger brother and his wife. They urged her to fight for herself and find a better life, so Nadia followed the plan. She contacted Constantin, and the two of them began planning her escape. Although Nadia doubted Constantin, her brother checked him out and found him genuine. Success. In the middle of a freezing winter in Europe, Nadia arrived at the Hungarian border. The Hungarian border police immediately recognized the well-known gymnast. Still, instead of arresting her, they brought her a blanket and arranged for her to be taken to the Austrian embassy. From there, it was only a short distance before she arrived in Vienna, where she met Panait. The two were given 2 airline tickets to New York City. Controversy. When she arrived in America, her days as a cute 15-year-old gymnastics star were long gone. Instead, she was a grown woman in high heels, surrounded by rumors and controversy. People assumed she was having an affair with Constantin, a married man, and Nadia's response to inquiries about it, given her limited command of English, was a chilly, "So what?" She wasn't welcomed, but at least she wasn't turned away. Double-crossed. Nadia was grateful to Constantin Panait for his assistance, but she was unaware that he was excluding her from those attempting to contact her. Numerous Romanian friends in the United States, including her beloved former coach, Bella Coroli, and the young American gymnast, Bart Connor, whom she had met years earlier, were attempting to contact her after hearing about her arrival in the media. Still, when they tried to do so, Panait simply did not forward their messages. Trying to make contact. After researching, Bart Connor discovered that Nadia had not gotten in touch with anyone she knew in the United States since her arrival. He thought this was suspicious, so when he learned that she was scheduled to interview on the Pat Sajak show, he contacted the producer and flew to Los Angeles at the last minute, flying straight to the studio in a helicopter to meet her on air as a surprise guest, out of concern that he wouldn't have the opportunity to speak to her face to face. Not who he seemed to be. Nadia believed that allowing Panait to be her manager, as he put it, was a reasonable price to pay for his assistance getting her out of Romania. Still, in reality, Panait was controlling her life and holding her captive while they were staying in hotels and motels. Nadia was reluctant to discuss the relationship with the married man, who initially appeared to be a friend, but was stealing from her and ruining her life. Freedom. When Nadia's good friend, Alexandru Stefu, a gymnastics coach, decided to help her, he enticed Constantin and Nadia into a meeting. After enough prodding and assistance, Nadia accused Constantin of mistreating her. Panait soon realized he was in trouble, So he stole her money and car and fled the country, and at last she was free. Years later, Nadia said she didn't harbor resentment toward the man, and that what mattered most was that he had helped her leave Romania and enter America. Paul Ziert takes her in. She needed a place to stay because she was broke, and after her friend Alexandru Stefu died in a snorkeling accident, she had to figure out how to make ends meet. Fortunately, Bart Connor's gymnastics coach, Paul Ziert, offered to take her in. She ended up living with Ziert and his family in Norman, Oklahoma, where she eventually hired him as her manager. This was when Bart and Nadia began to get close. Reconnecting. After Ziert gave Nadia Bart Connor's phone number, the two gradually began speaking on the phone more and more over the following year or so. As their friendship reached a climax, he offered Nadia a chance to come and assist him in starting and running a gymnastics school, which she accepted with honor. The two's relationship grew and flourished, and it seemed that Nadia had finally found her place. A love rekindled once again. They kissed each other on the cheek all those years ago, and they seemed inseparable when they first met. After all that time, they began dating seriously, and in 1994, in Amsterdam, Bart finally found the courage to ask the woman of his dreams to marry him. Of course, Nadia said yes. Bart and Nadia would marry, and they decided to do so in her hometown of Bucharest following the fall of the Romanian dictatorship. Everything was as it should be. People from all over the country came to honor the most exceptional Romanian athlete ever, and 10,000 people attended the televised wedding. People took days off work to attend, and Nadia felt that Romania was once again her country because the new government was liberal and saw her as a national hero. They even allowed her to use the House of Parliament for her wedding with Bart. Feeling sorry. Romania doesn't have royalty, but Nadia is as close to Romanian royalty as possible. Nadia felt terrible about leaving Romania, but said she always loved the Romanian people and that her problems were with the government, not them. The love was reciprocal, as they never forgot her achievements and patriotism. Nadia is still one of Romania's most adored, honored, and respected personalities. The Academy. Today, Nadia and Bart have established the Bart Connor Gymnastics Academy, which, despite being located in Norman, Oklahoma, receives thousands of applications each year from prospective students hoping to train under these elite athletes. When they are not running the academy, Bart and Nadia travel the world, lecturing, training, and giving talks. They are highly sponsored, and everyone in the gymnastics industry wants them to promote their goods and serve as their commercial representatives. BFF with Katie Holmes. When Katie Holmes decided to direct a short film about Nadia's success at the 1976 Olympics, the two seemed to be a perfect fit. Katie Holmes is a huge admirer of Nadia's and has chosen to tell her unique life story in a way everyone can relate to and understand. Nadia is happy to help. In 2015, Nadia and Katie Holmes were spotted together, laughing and chatting like old friends. Eternal Princess. Nadia used her experience and tenacity through challenging circumstances to tell the world the story of never giving up. Many people could use this story as motivation, and Holmes's telling of it is incredibly inspirational and motivating. Although Eternal Princess was not a huge hit, it was an excellent opportunity for Katie Holmes to get to know the legendary gymnast. In addition to their professional relationship, they have become close friends. Violence? The world was rocked in 1995 when it was revealed that an 11-year-old Romanian gymnast had been beaten to death by her coach. When the coach was suspiciously arrested months later, he claimed that Nadia had also been beaten by her coach, Bella. Bella and Nadia denied these claims, but professional athletic training can be challenging, especially when it begins very young. No pictures. According to one theory, the Romanian government encouraged the coach to use violence as a means of achieving perfection because they wanted to regain their lost status in the sport and create a new Nadia Comăneci, who would take the world by storm. Western journalists found the entire case unsettling and investigated further to learn the truth. Bella's outlook on things. Things like that happen constantly in Romania, the legendary coach said. Even though the country is no longer a dictatorship, The secret police are compelling and can make you disappear. That, along with the overwhelming will to succeed in sports, is a recipe for disaster. The kids end up suffering, and Romania as a nation loses. These are just a few reasons why Nadia and Bella decided to defect all those years ago, and even though Romania has changed since then, returning is still challenging. Dylan. Nadia and Bart welcomed their son Dylan into the world in 2006. Nadia views him as the center of her life, and the young man always spends time with his parents. They both enjoy showing pictures of him to everyone, and while Dylan is still young, everyone wants to know if he will also pursue a career in sports. However, even if he decides to follow a completely different path than his parents, he will still receive all the love and support they can give him. Business. In addition to their gymnastics school, Nadia and Bart have expanded their business plans to include selling gymnastics merchandise and equipment. Their company manufactures and sells gymnastics equipment, from crash pads and grip tape to bars. Their products are not inexpensive because they are highly sought after by professionals and regarded as premium quality in the gymnastics industry. It appears that Nadia and Bart are incredible athletes and exceptional business people. Arnold is a big fan. Nadia has other Hollywood friends besides Katie Holmes. Nadia and Bart currently live in Los Angeles. One day, she unexpectedly saw Arnold Schwarzenegger working out at her gym. She knew who the actor and former state governor was, but Arnie approached her first, claiming to be a huge fan. He even asked her to be his trainer for the day and was happy to post compliments on social media. Her production company. To help young gymnasts gain international recognition, Nadia founded Perfect 10 Productions, responsible for bringing all the essential gymnastics events to the public. She frequently collaborates with major broadcasters such as ESPN and Fox to ensure that gymnastics events are professionally televised and that gymnasts can shine and be seen just as she had been all those years ago. A cool $10 million. Nadia's current net worth is approximately $10 million. She didn't get all that money overnight. She worked hard with Bart and her husband to build their production company, academy, and equipment sales. Because of all that hard work, Nadia can enjoy her success and spend the rest of her life in peace and prosperity, which we believe she deserves, given everything she's been through. The mentality. Everyone assumes that talent is the primary cause of Nadia's success. Still, Nadia consistently refutes this idea, claiming that her mindset helped her achieve gymnastics superstar status and that she chose never to let it happen because she detested losing. While we can appreciate and understand her dislike of losing, we believe it takes at least some talent to win a string of perfect tens in the Olympics. Nobody will ever beat her. Will Nadia's flawless, historic scores remain uncontested for all time? Perhaps, but if her story is any indication, records are meant to be broken, and we can only hope that the person who breaks her record will come from her and Bart's school. Despite her being the first person to receive a perfect 10, people still expect someone to beat her. However, because of some changes in the rules regarding scoring and grading the athletes' routines, it seems impossible for anyone to receive a pure 10 at the Olympics today. New elements. She is simply unique. Sports are shaped over time by their participants, and athletes are always trying to push the bar and break previous records, but Nadia's influence over her field is unique. An element is a name for a gymnastics move. Nadia is famous for creating so many new sports aspects that experts still watch videos of her routines to make young competitors capture some of her glory. It's a way of life. In contrast to the common belief that athletes are eager to retire after their careers, Nadia was not engaging in the sports lifestyle to get it over with. Instead, it was always her desire to live that way. She now strictly monitors her calorie intake and avoids processed foods because she values her health highly. In one interview, she stated she hadn't had French fries in over 25 years. Still in shape. Though she used to train for up to 8 hours a day, Nadia now prefers high-intensity workouts that last about 30 minutes, which is more than impressive at the age of 56, and she is still in better shape than many people half her age. Perhaps this intense approach to training has also allowed her to succeed in the business world. Nadia still works out at least once daily, saying it keeps her mind fresh and will enable her to focus on the tasks. Salata divinity. So what does a health and sports professional who truly cares about her body and what she eats make at home? Nadia's favorite dish, salata de venete, is a healthy traditional Balkan dish that gives her, her husband, and her child a taste of home. It comes from her native Romania and is a mixture of roasted and pureed eggplants, onions, and various spices. Using her voice for good. Since the legendary Nadia scored the only perfect 10 in 1976 in Montreal, the organization asked her to be a spokesperson for the 2017 Gymnastics World Championships in Montreal. Nadia accepted the offer and was thrilled to return to where it all began. But who would have imagined that young gymnasts would be able to return so many decades later?
If you've watched the video till here, that means you've enjoyed the video. Subscribe. Don't forget to turn on the notifications bell icon